1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Today's topic is a necessity. And I'm just gonna jump straight to it. Client maturity. If you're a photographer, if you're a videographer, if you're a DP, whatever kind of creative role you do, someone's your client. That client could be an agency. That client could be a producer. That client could be a production house. That client could be the actual client. But at some point, you have a client. And the maturity you have doesn't entail that it aligns with the maturity that your client has. And this is going to open up a whole huge topic. But whatever level of maturity you've reached within your work, you must understand and realize that that does not dictate how you are being perceived publicly. That does not dictate that it is your value or it is your worth. It does not dictate that the client or a potential client will see you for who you are, what you're capable of creating, and you trying to force a client into understanding your level of maturity or how mature you are doing what you're doing is not going to work. It's pretty simple, honestly. You're either perceived properly or you're not. No amount of effort you can put can change that. No amount of effort you can put can change a client's mind. No amount of effort you can put can dictate, in a sense, how valuable you are to such client. It is always easy or easier where your level of maturity and the client's level of maturity are somehow similar. The gap is little. So you guys meet somewhere. They understand your value, you understand your own value, and surprisingly that value is within the same realm. But when it's not the case, which let's just say it is 50% of the time. 50% of the time, you and your client are on very different levels of maturity. Either they have no idea who you are, what you're doing. They have no idea how to value what you're bringing to the table, what you're offering. Or it's you who has no idea what they're doing, who has no idea what the client is looking for, and will not be able to provide the client with what they're looking for because basically you, as a creative, haven't matured enough to where you can meet that client's requirements. A lot of the time, we're in this gap of I don't know what the client wants, the client doesn't understand me, the client says, this is not what I wanted, this is not what I asked for, and it is generally within the realm of the discrepancy of maturity. I'm saying this not because I know a way to get through it. I am guilty. I also get stuck in such situations, but I want it to be stated. I want it to be obvious. We are very different. Humans are very different. Our perceptions are very different. What we do, our job, is extremely subjective. Extremely. Everyone has their own ideas. Everyone has their own egos. Everyone is so full of themselves, especially in the creative realm. And what differs here is not how smart you are, how creative you are, how out of the box you are. It is how mature you are. Because the more mature you are towards yourself, towards your craft, towards your client, the more you know how to deliver. You don't have to necessarily know everything. You don't have to necessarily know how everything is done. But within that maturity, you can understand, comprehend, and deliver. And in many cases, the client doesn't know that. The client doesn't realize that. And in many cases, the client just, let's just say they follow their dreams, for lack of a better explanation. And within that dream world scenario that they've created for themselves, they've created their perfect supplier or creative person, and they've named them Bob, and Bob is perfect. Bob knows exactly what they want. Bob doesn't exist. You exist. And Bob doesn't compete with you. Someone else named Simon probably competes with you. And neither you nor Simon can do what Bob can do, because Bob is a figment of imagination. What you can do is that, at least you can try to do, is accept the differences in levels of maturity. Understand that a lot of people within the creative realm, within the creative space, have no idea what they're doing. Have no idea what they're doing. A lot of the times, people that seem extremely confident have zero idea of what's happening around them. It just works. It just flows. The simple or the easy way to do this is to try to understand what the client wants. Try to meet their requirements. Try to match their maturity. If you're lucky enough, they're less mature. If you're unlucky, they're more mature, which will force you to become more mature. The issue here rises when you get a lot of immature clients. When you have to baby them. When you have to get to the point where you act like you're fresh in your craft. Like it's not been 15 years of you doing this. Like it's the first time you are actually doing this. Like when a client comes to you and says, no, I'll tell you where to put the camera. Or no, I'll tell you where to put the light. This is not how I want it. I know how I want it. It's not the best scenario. It's not the happiest scenario by all means. But just remember that there is a very delicate balance between creating and making money as a creator. And for you to get that balance, you need to get money. You need to get paid. Not saying it's easy. It's not easy. It's actually a bit difficult, quite difficult, but it's doable. And I think with enough patience, more and more of us will mature, more and more clients will mature, and hopefully the whole creative spectrum, creative universe, creative realm will just rise. Where it's not just about what I need as a client, it's not just about how much I want to pay or how much I can pay, or what I've seen elsewhere, or what someone has delivered at some point, or what I've heard from someone that, this guy got this much for that much. No, eventually we'll get to a point where things make more sense. But until that happens, we need to be patient. Myself included. We all need to be patient. It's an important topic. It touches me personally. And the more I feel that gap, the more I'm urged to dumb down and fill that gap. But at the same time, I keep on reminding myself that be patient. People will understand eventually. Your client will understand eventually. They will go around and they will try to get someone else to do their stuff, their Bob, and then Bob will screw them over, and then they'll come. It's like, okay, now I know. Now I understand. Now I've matured. Because no one matures without mistakes. No one. So just be patient. And hopefully, you'll get more and more of those very nice, mature clients that really value you, that really understand you, that really value your time, that understand your experience, that understand why you are valuable. And they will treat you like it. And they will talk to you like it. And their whole essence will be based on their maturity of your value. And that you will enjoy. I hope I've tapped this lightly, as lightly as I could. But yeah, until next time, stay safe.